Hello and welcome back to Beginner Adult Hockey. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about your first hockey game as a brand new beginner adult hockey player, because that can really be the scariest thing. You can watch YouTube videos all day, you can go out and practice all day, but that first game is going to be really scary. But it really doesn't have to be. So I wanted to walk you through a couple things that you're going to have to think about or know about your first game of beer league hockey. So number one, just remember everybody started at some point. A lot of people start as kids, but probably if you're a beginner, you're going to be playing with people who also started as adults. But you know what? Even if they started as kids, they know that it's a hard sport. It's hard to learn, and just the fact that you're out there is amazing. Think of it kind of like when you are supposed to picture people naked when you're, giving a speech or something. It's kind of the same thing. Just remember that they all started somewhere, and especially if they started as adults, they may not be that much better than you. So just the fact that you're getting out and doing it, you should be really proud of yourself. Number two, and you're going to find this is kind of the theme throughout, but hockey is a community. It's really not just a sport. It's going to be your brand new best friends, what you always want to do on Sunday nights or Tuesday nights or whenever you play. And so you just have to remember that this is not just about going out and playing hockey. It's also about being a good person, getting along with people, bringing beer if you choose. That always helps, especially when you're starting new. Just remember that this is about more than just the sport of playing hockey, because hockey really is a family and a community. All right, number three is don't be afraid to do things wrong. When you get out there, you're going to do a lot of stuff wrong. You're going to be in the wrong position. You're going to miss the puck. You're going to do things that you won't even think that you could possibly do while you're out there. And that's okay, because that's how we learn. One of the things I notice that people do when they first get out there is they're offsides all the time. But you know what? It takes like 3 or 4 times of being offsides and everybody getting mad at you before you remember, okay, don't go over the blue line until the puck is there. Things like that. Just know that the more mistakes you make, you are going to get better because you're learning not to do them. It's going to suddenly become muscle memory once you do them more and more. A part of that is don't be afraid to fall. I will tell you that you are so padded up that 95% of the time when you fall, it doesn't hurt. One time I fell, and like 2 seconds later, my stick came down and hit me in the head because I had apparently, when I fell, I threw it up, and it was hilarious to watch, but it didn't hurt at all. I've been hit in the face a number of times, but because I have a cage, does not hurt. A couple times it has hurt when I've fallen, so it does occasionally hurt, but just so you know, the more you fall, the more you're going to realize that it really doesn't hurt that much, and it's going to stop your fear. And going back to my point of don't skate beyond your level, so don't skate faster than you can stop, because you're going to hurt people. But that doesn't mean that what I mean about don't be afraid to fall is that you need to get rid of your fear of falling, because that will help you get to where you need to go a lot faster and get better faster. Number 4, and I always think this is the best advice anybody ever gave me, is work on one thing a game. You're going to be out there for a number of games, and there's so much to learn and so much to do and so much to remember. If you think about, obviously you want to play as well as you can no matter what, but if you think about, okay, I'm going to specifically think about this one thing per game, that really helps you get that thing down, and then you can work on something else the next game. Some things I work on are don't be offside, or don't fling the puck, or what else? Keep your head up. Stay in your position, work on your backward skating. Things like that will, if you focus on that one thing per game, it's really going to help you perfect that one thing, and then you can move on to the next thing. All right, number 5 is ask questions, but when you ask questions, be open to the answer, because you don't want to be that person that said, hey, what did I do wrong there? And then get defensive when somebody told you what you did wrong. But be open to listening, because it's all going to be constructive criticism, and we're here to learn. If it's not constructive criticism, which there are people out there that yell, they're just like, why were you in that position? Or why did you do that? They're few and far between. And a lot of times those people don't get invited back, which also means you shouldn't be yelling, because you don't want to be that guy either. But you know what? It's okay when you're out on the bench to say, hey, what did I, was I in the wrong position there? Or how did I miss the puck? Or why did I do this or that? That's okay. Hockey players are really, really welcoming, and they will say, I think you did this. Actually, what they're probably going to say is, I don't remember, because people don't notice when you do something wrong most of the time. So don't get in your head about it because people probably don't remember, but it is a learning opportunity. So you should do whatever you can to learn what you did wrong and fix it next time. Kind of on that same note, number 6 is be a goldfish. I don't know if you watched Ted Lasso, although I'm convinced I came up with this term before Ted Lasso, but it is a Ted Lasso term, so we're going to credit it to him. But what that means is that when you make a mistake, you shouldn't dwell on it. 2 minutes later or 20 minutes later or an hour later, you shouldn't still be thinking about that mistake. The second you make the mistake, be over it. I mean, don't do it again if you can help it, obviously, learn from it, but don't be down on yourself the whole game because you missed a puck when people probably didn't even notice. And another part of that is if you make a mistake and like you bang your stick down, or even if you just like put your head down like, oh, I made a mistake, that's taking 2 seconds away from you as a player on the ice helping your team. What I'm saying is that you need to get over anything you do wrong because it's only going to make you dwell on it and make you worse for the rest of the game. All right, number 7 is learn your position. And you can do this a lot. There are a ton of videos online about where you should be standing in a lot of situations. When you very first start, obviously when you're out skating, people aren't going to be like, hey, you're in the wrong position. But for instance, for face-offs, they will. They'll be like, hey, stand over here. This is where you're supposed to be. You should still kind of learn before you go. And one day I'll do a video on that. But for now, you should be, people will help you out. But while you're skating, you should kind of know, at least in general, where you're supposed to be on the ice. You should also kind of understand where the other positions are supposed to be in relation to you because that will be very important as well. We want to be covering the whole ice or, each end of the ice when you're in that end or wherever you're at. You should understand your position, the rest of your teammates' positions, and where the other team is supposed to be because that will help you understand how things are moving along. On that same note, nobody likes a puck chaser. What that means is that you see the puck and you just skate all over the rink. I played with somebody once that did that and was always out of breath. Like, why am I so tired? And it's like, because you're always going after the puck. Like, stay in your position. There's a reason we have positions and we don't all just chase the puck all the time. And that is because that's the system that works. So stay in your position, don't chase the puck, and it will help you not only conserve your energy, but also help your team out to the full potential. All right, number 8 is communicate with your team when you're out on the ice. You want to be talking to them all the time like, hey, I got this, or hey, I'm right behind you, or hey, I'm going to go to the net first, or anything like that, because communication, you cannot over communicate with your team on the ice. That is going to be how you kind of learn each other, but also it's great to know what other players are doing as well, especially before you really learn those other players or your teammates, because eventually you'll probably know how you guys are working and where you'll be and all that kind of stuff. But there's no way you can over communicate out on the ice. So make sure that you are talking to your teammates all the time. All right, number 9, short shifts. And I got a little bit of pushback when I talked about this in another video about how long you're supposed to be out on the ice. I think, and I know this, you should be out there 45 to 75 seconds. And I don't mean from, beginning to when you get back to the bench. I mean ice time, skating time. So if the clock stops and you've been out there for 45 seconds and you guys are all just standing there for 45 seconds, I don't mean get off. I mean, when you are out there 45 to 75 seconds skating, hard skating, you're going to be exhausted. I mean, you are not going to be like, I can skate for 5 minutes straight. That's not how this works. You need to be out there, and then as soon as you get tired, again, generally that happens in 45 to 75 seconds, you get back to the bench as soon as you can, because you're not helping anybody if you're going to be out there and you can't even skate because you're so tired. There are a couple times you can't go back to the bench, or you shouldn't go back to the bench, and that is when the puck is headed into your defensive zone or when it's in your defensive zone, because that's just going to make your team only have 4 players out there because the other player cannot come out until you get back to the bench. But if it is in the neutral zone and you guys have control of the puck, or if it's in your offensive zone, those are good times, or headed to your offensive zone, those are good times to change lines as soon as you can, or of course when the whistle blows. All right, number 10, and this is very important, this will get you kicked off a team faster than anything else, I promise you, is if you check in and say you're coming, you need to come. You need to get there. to the game. A lot of teams use different ways to use it, like they'll do a chat on Facebook or a text chat, or a lot of people use Bench App. I don't think I've ever been on a team where we didn't use Bench App, so I don't know if that's regional or what, but I think more teams are using that. You can check in and say, I am coming tonight. If you're coming, it means that they are not inviting other people to fill your position, or they may have told people they couldn't come because you are one of the people that said they would show up that night. So if you're showing up, if you say you're showing up, you need to show up. This is very, very important and probably the #1 rule of etiquette in hockey. Number 11 is just hang out with your team. And you know, this doesn't mean you have to drink. A lot of people, you know, they'll bring beer, you'll have a beer afterwards, but if you don't want to drink, that's okay. Nobody's going to say anything. Nobody cares. A lot of times teams will hang out in the locker room or in the parking lot, or they'll go to a bar or restaurant afterwards. And you know what? Spend some time. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, and it's going to maybe take an extra hour out of your day, and there's, you know, players who don't do that, but nothing is going to make your team like you better than getting to know you and getting to know you as a person and not just a hockey player, because especially if you're starting and maybe you're the worst one on the team, this is the way to keep getting invited back, because it is something, it's just the culture of hockey, and this is what we do. So when you are going out for your first game, you know what, plan an extra hour, and it may not happen. You may be on a team that doesn't hang out afterwards. There's a lot of teams like that, but spend some time with them and talk to them. And if they, you know, have a team get together, then you should go to that, because you are a part of this team. And it's, again, this hockey thing is more than just a sport. It really is a community, and you want to be a part of that. So I know that was a lot, and you don't have to learn all of it. Just know that when you go to your first game, you're going to be nervous, and really you'll learn as soon as you start playing that you really don't need to be. Everybody is very welcoming. You're only going to get better by getting out there and playing, and as long as you're showing effort, everybody is going to be really welcoming and nice, and you are now going to be part of one of the best communities on earth. So all I can say is get out there and definitely just play your first game, and you'll learn that you want to play more and more and more of them. Let me know if you have any other questions, and let me know if you have any other videos you want me to do or anything like that. We will keep posting some on ice videos and some other things, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video.